I'm about to jump to the right spot. Give me a second.
In the contract, we wanted to negotiate because there's a lot of information about.
Shout out to Trustee Ed Steve, Trustee for life.
Okay, so my question to you or the board of trustees is, when you guys vote for something that's not complete, you telling us what we feel, but just like you don't know which.
That's what, Madam Clerk, are you the host for the meeting then? Because if Ontario's off, who's the who has host?
Well, if the mayor and no one else is on here, Trustee Steve, are you recording this meeting?
No, I'm not. It's on YouTube right now. It's being recorded, but you're right. I don't know who the host is. It will have to be between whoever.
Well, I thought the mayor was going to get back on. I just thought she had some.
Yeah.
I thought she just had some technical difficulty. Is she?
Let me jump y'all to another part of the meeting. It gets a little bit juicier. What I brought you here for, I didn't realize it was this deep into the meeting. For some reason, I thought it was earlier in the meeting when it happened, but it didn't. It happened deep into the meeting, like an hour and 15 minutes in. So instead of me making you go through all that boring shit that I have to go through, that those of us who review these meetings to bring you the shit have to go through, I'm gonna jump right to that timestamp.
I can take the booklet apart and see the entire proposal or just the fee schedule.
And for those of you who don't know who this lady is that looks like Gary Coleman, this is Dorothy Brown. She is a very, very unliked politician in the South suburban area of Chicago. People hated when Tiffany brought her on as an administrator at $100,000 a year, and they made sure she was quickly replaced. And she was quickly replaced with Keith Freeman. Infamous Dorothy Brown. Okay. So y'all got a little peep at her ugly ass, but her wigs always look really good. Like I can tell she like is really using her. Oh, you did? You worked for her for 2 weeks? What was that like? If you can say, I don't know if you signed the NDA, but what was that like?
Whichever one you would like.
She did look
like Administrator Brown, you only have one hard copy of that booklet?
I have 3.
Okay.
They gave 3. Mm-hmm.
Is it possible I could get one?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And I can
add them in their mailboxes. Yeah, just put all the
copies in their mailbox. If you are in here, if you would, while they're transitioning into the next part, if you don't mind going ahead and hit that like button, hit that share button, pop a hi or something in the chat. Let us know you're here. All right, let's go.
All right, can you call the roll?
Trustee Steve.
Aye.
Trustee Norwood.
Aye.
Trustee Belcher.
Aye. Thank
Trustee
you,
Holmes.
Sarita, TD, and
Trustee Brown.
She sure do look like a whole Jake.
Trustee House.
She look like a whole Jake.
Motion passed.
All right, what's the count? 6?
The count is 6.
All right, thank you. Next on the agenda, we have approval of 3 referendum questions to be voted on by the residents of Dolton on June 28, 2022.
Okay, this is the shit we came for. The question has been asked about the infamous recall. This is the first time we really get to hear about a recall. So call your friends, call your grandma, call your boyfriend and his baby mama, and please let them know that they need to see this. Oh, yeah, she looked bad. She looked bad, as she say. And you'll find out why in just a moment. Let's go.
First one is a referendum establishing a recall mechanism, which would allow the electoral to recall and remove the village president, mayor of the village of Dolton. And then the second question is a referendum recalling and removing myself, Tiffany A. Henyard, And as village president, mayor of the village of Dolton, I think I told you guys, just spell my name out. And when y'all do amend it by saying AIESHA, my whole full name. And then the third one is a referendum to implement policies and actions to promote governmental cooperation to enhance public safety, economic development, and beautification efforts for the village of Dolton. Is there a motion? Is there a motion to approve B, the 3 referendum questions?
I make a motion.
Is there a second?
A second.
Okay, there's a motion and second. Any discussion? Do anybody
Who
want
of you guys spoke at the same time? Can you tell me who second?
Trustee Belcher motioned it and Norwood seconded.
Thank you.
And do anyone have any discussion?
Can I be recognized, Mayor?
Sure, go ahead. You breaking up?
Okay, while they get her tech together, I want to get us back to this conversation. I have bored you guys to death. I have brought your energy all the way down, but we are about to get back into the shit. Do you hear me?
Trustee, you are breaking up.
We had this conversation as a special board meeting with committee on the iPad, so I don't know. Can you hear me or no?
Yeah, we heard. Yep.
Okay, so we had a conversation on Monday in reference to the committee of the whole and discussion about this. I know that you kind of went around the board of asking everybody, why do we feel we should be putting these referendum questions on the board? You stated you haven't did anything wrong, this is that. And Monday, I stated, you proved my point, but I think that after speaking to several residents over the last 48 hours, I would just like to give a little bit more detail so that those that don't know why some of the concerns are being brought up in reference to this mechanism of a recall. Over the last 6 months, there has been a very, I'll say, hostile board, mayor versus trustees, and I'll say it as that. But at the end result, our goal is always to make sure that we're doing what's best for the village of Dolton. There are several ordinances that you have been in violation of. We've sent emails about it. I actually sent emails about it, and you're constantly doing it. There's been a directive that's been given to you. You're still doing what you want to do. You made a statement the other day about you stopped putting our names on flyers because we don't attend meetings or events or however festivities that you have, when of course over the last 6 months, out of 17 flyers, only one had the board of trustees on there. And of course, if you let me share my screen, I can pull them all up if you need me to. You make decisions based solely upon yourself. We are inclusive. It should be the board of trustees and the mayor versus just you making decisions. There was an ordinance passed with advice and consent outside of the directive of the hiring and consent. And then when it's questioned about these people being hired prior to that date, you guys are altering documents. And I'm going to say that because Chris sends us a report monthly. So if anybody was hired prior to that time, they would have been on the report. So if those reports are not accurate, then we have a concern of the validity of a lot of stuff that's going on. We had a conversation in finance in reference to spending, the spending with the events, the spending with moving money, the spending with how things are being documented. If we vote on something and we're voting on something out of a line item, if the line item is being changed or moved, then that is something that should be presented to us, because once we vote on it, it should be official. Those are just minimum things that has been going on. So I was kind of reluctant to say something, but I think that people need to know exactly what's going on. So when we talk about the direction of the board, you're not doing anything illegal and that type of thing, when you're constantly violating ordinances that are legal documents of the Village of Dolton, that draws a concern for me. So that's my position on why I feel that I am in total support of this mechanism for recall at this time. I release. Thank you.
Now, we heard what she said. Do we need to hear that again? Should I go back and we hear that again? I'm more than happy to, now that you know what we're listening to. Did you want me to go back and play that again so we can listen to it together? Because I don't understand these Tiffany Henyard fans who say they don't understand why there was a recall. It was completely unfair. You just heard just one trustee. That's just one. The rest are going to talk too, but this was just one. I can't stand when somebody say they don't know why people don't like them. Nigga, you know why. You just don't want to admit why people don't like you, because then it would admit you're a fucking horrible person. I don't know what they got, the Jackal's Lair. I know they got Lori Lightfoot now, and the balls is dropping. The dominoes is tumbling. Them houses of cards is coming down. Do you hear me? I know they got Lori Lightfoot now, and all you need is one good devil. You don't need a whole bunch of them. Any good devil got a whole bunch of other devils working for him. If you've ever exorcised the demon, then you know the first one you get out of there ain't gonna be the final one. That ain't the general. That ain't the lieutenant. That's just a little worker demon. But Tiffany Henyard has met her match, honey, in Lori Lightfoot. Tiffany Henyard, thank you. Thank you guys for the Cash Apps and the PayPals. Tiffany Henyard has met her match. And yes, those numbers are beautiful. I love those numbers. Thank you. Yes. Every little bit helps. But I'll be honest with you, Amanda. Most of the folks that send me Cash Apps don't send $1.11. I'll be honest with you. What I love about the Breakdown Crew is the Breakdown Crew sends big bills. The Breakdown Crew said, I recognize your work. Let me send you 50. Let me send you 20. Let me send you 30. And I love that. I really appreciate that. I like the $1.11 too, but I don't tend to be one to pick change up off the ground, if you understand what I mean. But I'm grateful for whatever you guys decide that you want to give. I'm thankful. I don't ask on purpose because I want it to come from you and your idea. What I do ask you for is for you to join Patreon. That's what I ask you for. And to upgrade your membership so you can get that exclusive access, that early access, that 24/7 chat, more of me, so we could chop it up and get to know each other better. So yeah, I'm not one to pick up pennies. I feel like you tell the universe what you want and what your standards are. So, I may give some change to my daughter, but I don't tend to pick up other people's change off the ground. Now, how often do you see $100 bill on the ground? Exactly. So anyway, I'm grateful for whatever. And Amanda, thank you so much for sharing those links for the donations and for Patreon. Y'all are the bomb. Our Patreon family is growing. It's phenomenal. It makes me work harder. Thank you so much. It definitely makes me work harder. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and save that chat for just a second. Now, do you guys notice how cocky Tiffany Henyard presents so far? She was very pleasant in the first hour and 15 minutes of the meeting. And then it became very cocky. The least y'all could do was get my middle name spelled correctly. Well, bitch, it ain't nobody's fault your mama misspelled your middle name. How many vowels do you need in the name Aisha? She just had to make you special. Bitch, yeah, you special. But can't nobody sit here and be like, oh, I don't understand why a recall. I believe that Trustee Belcher just spelled it out for us pretty well. Do you mind grabbing that? Just spelled it out for us very clearly why a recall. I don't necessarily like Lightfoot, Hogleg. I'm not a liker or disliker of a person. I realize that everyone has a purpose. And sometimes, just step outside and get the door. And sometimes you may be trying to wait for Jesus to come save you when it is the devil who has the information you need to get what you need to get done. They've been waiting for God to come save them for a long time. They had to go ahead and hire a devil to get this work done. Thank you for proving my point. Let's continue.
Okay. I'm gonna respond to that, but I'll get to that. I'll be last. Anybody else?
Yeah, Mayor, may I be recognized?
Yep, go ahead.
Mayor, in regards, because I hear often, and even I heard you bring up the retreat, and us all getting on one page, because I think that's our goal as trustees and the mayor. And from the very beginning, I know that compromise has always been a concern with you in regards to your leadership. I feel as if you're the mayor. The mayor is ultimately the leader, and every good leader has to know how to follow. Also, I think that you use your platform as a dictatorship as opposed to working with the board. I feel like you have your things that you want to put into action, and you never even discuss them with the board. And I think that that's majority of our problem. I think that my first alarm came with the overspending, was with the inauguration. I know you stated that you made history, and that was good. But when I seen $14,000 on the warrant list, that was appalling to me, when normally past administrations and everyone all around the board normally spends about $1,000 on inauguration. So I think that my concern is also the overspending. I remember when we went over the budget, it came time for us to discuss the budget. I know that the trustees could have composed the budget, but we allowed you to do so just as a means of compromising. We allowed you to do so. I know that when it came to the administration part of the budget, we all had some concerns. I know that you wanted to spend about $550,000 in terms of that part, and we wanted to go with about $250,000. So I said to you, well, hey, Mayor, how about we compromise? Can we meet in the middle? Because we're kind of concerned about the spending. And you stated to me that you didn't want to compromise, and you didn't. So I guess that's pretty much my concerns, the overspending, even with the fireworks. I know that I was in agreement with the fireworks, and it was stated you asked the board for $5,000 towards the fireworks. We obliged, but then when we look at the warrant list, we see $7,000 in spending for fireworks. And when I look at the event budget, we just had a finance meeting, and we asked Chris where we are with the event budget. When we asked in August, we was at $30,881.80. But when we just checked, he said as of October, our total was $25,388.27. So I have two concerns with that. My main concern is we're only 6 months into the budget, and we're pretty much exhausted it. And then my second concern with that is when the items were moved, I just feel like as if we should have been notified. If we're board as trustees, and our job is to manage finances and to oversee the money, then when something is changed with the money, I think that we should be notified. So that's my concern, Mayor. Thank you.
All right.
It's something I learned when I became a teacher, and I taught English overseas for about 4 years. And in order to teach English overseas, for a lot of countries, there are credentials you have to have that teach you how to teach, because many of us come from professional backgrounds that don't teach us how to teach. And one thing that I learned, I can't remember where this came from. Oh, the first school I worked for in China sent me this book that I held on to, and it taught me about teaching. And I read it for the 4 years that I lived there. It taught me about, and I studied a little bit about pedagogy and andragogy before too, but this book really taught me some things. And one thing it said was, when you start working with a new set of students, it is much easier to be strict at first and then become more lenient as your class becomes cultivated to your culture, your rules, your way of doing things, your responses, your calls, that sort of thing. But if you start off too easy, it's going to be hell to get them kids or those adults to vibe with your way of doing class. And that's how I run my life. When we are in this breakdown crew, you'll notice I was real hard and heavy with the house rules. Really hard and really heavy. I didn't even have to do house rules today because we already know. That's how I run my life. When I first meet people, I have very strict standards about my space, my personal business. I don't give them shit. Not a ride, not a dime, not a nothing, because I don't establish friendships based on need. I'm very careful and particular. I'm very strict when I first meet people, because later on down the line, I want to be really generous and have a lot of fun with you. And we might just get drunk together, so who knows? But I need to have already established certain boundaries with my home and my car and my language and my emotions and the way that I tolerate certain things. Well, although the trustees operated in a role of leadership as finance managers, they didn't operate as leaders here. They let Tiffany Henyard do the leading. And if they knew she had a certain amount of deficiencies going in, they should have never let her do the leading. They tried to compromise with her. Why? You got the checkbook. Have you ever tried to compromise with your children? It doesn't work. They want more and more and more and more and more. There is no compromising with immature human beings. And Tiffany Henyard, as y'all knew, was one of them. You rewarded her for work she didn't even do yet. Y'all let her come in her first 3 months and have a fireworks show and a couple different events. And she hadn't even done nothing else yet. You let her play with the checkbook, and she hadn't even had an after-school care program or a STEM class or improvement in crime and safety, or maybe release some building permits. Maybe she should have she should have shown you a track record of a regular report. Because ladies, if you date, you know that you have to cultivate a man into how to treat you before you give him that good pussy. You can't just give him that good pussy and you haven't cultivated and seen what he's got and seen what his track records are and the way he moves and the way he handles his business, and if his affection is consistent, if his affection is based on sex or not. You know that. And see, this is what happens when we get a bunch of people with a low self-worth together. They just happy to have her as a mayor. But nobody was like, we know you coming in as a huge maybe, a wild card. So we're not going to let you play with the money until we see that you give reports, that you do all the stuff you told Rodney Rogers he was supposed to do with the electronic warrant list. Now should have been about the time when Tiffany Henyard could have started doing some of the stuff that she wanted to do. Fireworks and parties and stuff. It would have made sense now. She's been the mayor for 3 or 4 years. Go on in your room, baby. Do that for me for just a second, okay? Thank you, baby. I appreciate you. I can't keep turning around because you're messing with that, okay? Thank you, sweet face. Now would have been the time. A person who's been in office because like for most of us, when we take on a new role with a company, we don't even go on vacation for the first year. So why would the trustees give her access to the checkbook, let her do a fireworks show, let her have all these barbecues, she showed you what she was working with the doggone inauguration. She said she was going to pay for it out of her campaign fund, and she came and stuck you with a $15,000 bill when the average person spent $1,000. But then after that, y'all let her go and do a fireworks show? Because you were trying to compromise with her for what? What would be the benefit to the village of Dolton for you to compromise with the mayor? And Jean, what would be the benefit of the people of Dolton 200 years from now? I'm saying it that way because I told you I've studied, politics and business models in other countries. And one thing I learned is that in Japan, when a business plan is written for a company, it's written for 200 years. There is an expectation for that business plan to be in place for the next 200 years. That's long. That's how you think long game, longevity, stability. But Tiffany Henyard came in, and within 90 days, she had shown you what you needed to see. She showed you already what you needed to see. I'm gonna let you continue. I just needed to nail that thought for a moment because I just can't see the logic of compromising with someone who you guys said when she was running for mayor, you saw her incompetencies. You knew she broke into cars. You knew it was questionable whether or not the way she got votes was through buying them or not. You were aware. So why would you try to compromise with her? Man, please. People like that, when you meet them, you got to be tough with them first and put that standard down right away. And that's why I don't fuck with bitches like Tiffany Henyard. You won't see me roll with whack-ass bitches like this. Because I put that standard down. For real, for real.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, Trustee Holmes here.
Yes, go ahead, Trustee.
I think he about to cry.
We all elected officials. We all have knowledge. And I think we still should come around the table, sit down face to face and talk, negotiate, speak on, things we need to do as a unit. So as I stated the other day, I'm not in support of recalling a clerk, a trustee, or a mayor, because we all are knowledgeable to keep this village moving. That's where I stand.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? No one else? Okay. Well, I'm gonna say this, and they told me don't be long-winded today, but you guys put it up for a vote.
For the first time, thank you, StreamYard, for letting me know my mic was muted. For the first time, somebody just said, you are hilarious. Thank you, BB. For the first time in breakdown history, I'm going to allow this to play at regular speed because for many of us, it's the first time we've heard this lie. And we need to hear it. But she is long-winded.
I'm so happy that the board it's changed here in the village of Dolton. It's related to the old unit that was once before us. Community came out in droves and voted for a new government body, a new direction. And then not only that, a younger board. We all are young in age. I can't say why, but we are young in age, and I'm just happy that I'm able to do the great things for my town. I was a trustee for 8 years, and then I became mayor, making history. And there never has ever been a woman mayor in the village of Dolton. So the crazy part about all of this is I ran with 2 people here. And I've said this and I'll say it again, so it's on the record for a voting meeting. I ran with Trustee House, and I ran with Trustee Belcher. And I told them this, and I tell them again. Everyone came to me for my support. I gave it. Everyone came to me for my base. I've given that. The crazy part is these people are individuals I once called friends. People that I wouldn't have thought in a million years will sit here and put up a recall against myself. I've done nothing wrong. I've said this several times. I haven't done anything as it relates to theft, corruption, briberies, kickbacks, nothing. So normally when you want to recall anyone, you have all.
She said bribery. You heard it right. She said bribery. I slowed it down and listened to it 3 times. She said bribery.
Those issues. The things that you guys are speaking of are of personal issues with me, just like I have personal issues with you. But as a leader, you don't hear me saying, I got this, and that. I go down the line on each and every one of y'all, and y'all know I can. I've done it. but I'm not doing that today to say your flaws or what I don't like or what y'all didn't vote for or anything. But I will say this, as it relates to Trustee Belcher was stating, I was violating ordinances and things of that nature. Untrue statement. We argue over minute things that I feel could have been fixed, rectified, but no trustee wanted to do anything as it relates to fixing our broken home. I've tried to reach out to you guys. I've tried to do a retreat with you guys. None of y'all wanted to do any of it. You won't even answer the phone for me. And that is my issue as it relates to being your leader. To pick up the phone when I call. When I'm calling, I'm not calling to kiki with any of you. I'm calling to talk business, and that is village business. Whether it's a shooting in town, whether it's to see how you feel about an item on the agenda, but none of y'all call, y'all all run, and that's my issue. I've called, set up to meet with Brittany one time, and she told me, meet at Village Hall. I did that, met her here, and she ran and told me, Mayor, not right now. Okay, I'll call you. It didn't happen. So when y'all tell the whole truth. But I don't want to get into the minutia of all of that because I can do that another given time of each and every last one. So, violation of ordinances. You guys are in complete violation of the ordinances that are on the books now. We have an ordinance that states meetings of how they are structured and when they happen. The ordinance states, and I can recite this. We have one board meeting on the 1st and 3rd of every Monday of each and every month, unless it's a holiday or something wrong. When this happened, the first Monday is a voting meeting. The third Monday is a discussion meeting, a cow. You guys wanted to do the recall so bad that you sat here and created basically a cow meeting on Monday before the actual voting meeting to talk about the 3 referendum questions. It should have went like it always goes, the structure, at the 3rd Monday of the month, but you guys chose to create your own laws and make up your own thing to benefit self. And that's what I have a problem with this board. You guys make up things all the time just to benefit self. It does not get vetted through the proper channel. You guys do not follow the laws as it stands now, but yet you point out what you guys have a problem with me as the mayor, and that's a problem for me. And the reason why it's a problem is we all got elected by the people. That's what y'all keep failing to realize. The people elected us. Let me remind you, I've gotten 82% of the vote. That means that what? Residents wanted me as their mayor, and they wanted a change for Dolton. As I stated in the previous meeting on Monday, I've been doing nothing but that. I've been doing nothing but rebuilding Dolton. Residents are actually happy with the things that's taking place. As it relates to my board, you guys have a problem with little things, and that's what retreats are for. And everyone has told me several different times, Mayor, can y'all not display your business over this outlet? This outlet is strictly for us to handle the business at hand. And we're not doing that, trustees, because when y'all got a problem, y'all come with it. Y'all come here to broadcast that problem you may have with myself. Can you mute your phone? Thank you. So when it comes to attacks on myself, because I could cry me a river just like you guys are, the board didn't help or protect me as their mayor. You guys all banded together and didn't want me to have security or detail. And some of the trustees, and I quote this to Trustee Belcher, were showing up at my house, doing malicious acts, recording my home. All kinds of threats came from people on my board. That's the crazy part that residents don't know. It's my own board attacking me. And the bad part about it is people need to stop letting things like this get in the way of government. Because at the end of the day, we are all people. We on borrowed time. We are bench warmers, and I say that all the time. These seats are borrowed. Some of y'all won't even be here at the next cycle. So for us to sit here and take this as we just own these seats and it's forever, nothing's forever. So stop attacking people or sitting here making people believe differently when at the end of the day, it's at the own discretion of my board as related to my security. So I do have security, and I'll continue to have security because of the attacks on myself. Flyers, I've stated that. I've done flyers in the beginning. It said myself in, I don't know if it said Board of Trustees or if it said exactly Dolton, the Village of Dolton. It said one of them, but it was a together thing. I stopped putting people on the flyers simply because my board wasn't supporting any initiative that I was doing. But remember, when I was running and when I was a trustee, everybody was supporting everything. Everybody was showing up again because everybody wanted to talk to my base. But when it came mayor, no one wanted to show up to any collaborative events or show support to the people. Because when I do the events, it's for the people. Y'all say my events because I'm the one created the event. No one give money to the events. No one give their time to the events. No one does anything, meaning as it relates to the trustee, as it relates to anything that I put forth. And I'm saying I put forward because at the end of the day, y'all get mad when I say I or me. When you give a report, it's coming out of my mouth. So I'm saying my report, the mayor's office and my staff. So you got to stop being in your feelings about little things.
You ever try to listen to somebody talk shit like this? And you'd be like, hold up. Before you continue, let me address what you said so far. Just put a comma in there for a second. Put a pin in it. Let me address what you said so far. So I'm going to do that. First of all, Trina Down said in the chat of this particular meeting, at the time, Tiffany Henyard was 39 years old. So no, they weren't young. And she said, and some of them, she said, I can't say wise. I can agree. If they endorsed you and supported you into office and then tried to compromise with you after you showed them you was a no good, low down, what you say, Miss Cheryl Hill? You low down, no good, bitch ass nigga. If you done already showed them you was a no good, low down, bitch ass nigga, they weren't very wise for continuing to try to compromise with you. I agree with that. And can I get that ordinance number? Now, she said that Kiana Belcher committed malicious acts. You mean taking a picture of the security on the street is malicious? Speaking to one of the neighbors in the neighborhood is malicious? What's malicious? What have you been lying, telling your neighbors? And do you notice she said my board? My board. Now, this was the problem in 2021. It's gotten nothing but worse since then. This was about when she brought in Stan Brown. She was gearing Stan Brown up to be a trustee again to get rid of Ed Steve. And what she calls initiatives are like house festivals, step festivals, like step in the name of love, back, side to side, round and round, dip it down, separate, bring it back. Now let me see you do the love slide. That's the kind of shit she talking about when she say initiatives. And she said no one gave any money for any of these things. Well, didn't they get them on the warrant list? I believe the village of Dolton gave money for these things.
Like that, because at the end of the day, I will always deliver to the people and make sure I continue doing what's right. 1 second. You guys stated that I just make decisions for myself. I make decisions as it relates to moving the village forward. If I cannot get a hold of anyone or something that's needed to be done or is of urgent matter, it gets decided on because I run the day-to-day operations. As it relates to anything you guys are supposed to give your opinion on, supposed to have a say-so on, it comes before the board. It gets voted on. But the day-to-day operation, staff, things like that, that's solely up to me. But my thing was to have a relationship with everybody and talk about everything that's going on in the village. But when I keep calling y'all and y'all not saying anything or not picking up calls, I have a problem with that. So why am I calling and no one wants to fix anything that I'm stating? When I've asked for streets to get paid, when I asked for alleys to get paid, when I asked for different things, it was always a pause or hesitation, or we take it off of the actual board meeting and then we'll put it on the committee meeting. It was like always your way. So I did it. Y'all did it y'all way. But at the end of the day, it came from the mayor's office. So then you get mad when I own up to the things that I've created, done. But yes, it takes a team to do everything. And my team are great. The staff here, man, I love them to death. They do circles around the previous administration because right now we have structure, which we never had before. So I also have a problem with people making untrue statements. You guys will talk about the hiring process. The hiring process did not happen the way everyone keep claiming it does, Trustee Belcher. You're saying that we hired and we manipulated paperwork for what? I don't have to manipulate anything when, guess what? I am the person that does the hiring. Before you change the ordinance, right? It was granted, it was solely the mayor. So why would I have to implement paperwork if it was solely me to hire individuals? So that's what I'm saying, that everyone just say what they want up here, make exaggerations, lie about whatever. I never changed any paperwork. I don't have to, because I was the one that was over hiring. So normally you just hire someone, they come and they work. And what people don't fail to realize is when they start, y'all don't see them within the time frame when y'all change the ordinance, and you might see them a month later or 2 weeks later. Number one, some people had a previous job and they either left their job or they was about to retire. And then by the time y'all see them, y'all think that we just started them then. They've been hired, they've been processed. It's just they had to wait or give their job a 2 weeks notice, or some people a month notice before they actually started with the village. So all I'm saying is sometimes people got to use common sense and quit just assuming everyone's doing something wrong. I didn't get in this position to be a hinder to anyone or not get things done. I ran solely because I truly care about Dalton. I grew up here. I have a 2-year-old daughter that I'm trying to allow to grow up here in Dalton, and that's why I'm in government, because I want to fix it. I want to fix the problems we have and have a better understanding for everyone in Dalton, the residents included. I speak to my daughter because think about it. You don't have to raise a child here in Dalton, but if her mom's in government and I'm saying I'm going to fix it so things can be better and she can see a brighter future, she can go to the parks and she can stand outside and all the things that's going on. That's what I vow to do, fix Dalton. Other than that, you can move and go anywhere. As it relates to spending, I spent within my budget all the time. You guys keep saying, I'm spending out of budget. If it's in the budget, you have discretion to spend the money in the budget. That's what we've been doing. And when y'all keep talking about inauguration or other bills and the amounts, I kept telling y'all, when y'all kept reciting the numbers, y'all had it wrong. That's not true. That's not true. I've always gotten money or sponsors to come to the village of Dalton and sponsor anything that we normally have. Now, if it's something left over, you will see it on the warrant list because we didn't have enough money to do an event or something like that. But I take money out of my pocket. I take money from the budget, and then sponsors give the village money. It's checks on file. So I just want everybody to know that. And then, Belcher, you're always saying that people not giving you documentation, something's wrong. I wish you stopped doing that because that's not true. Every trustee, and this is at the direction of the mayor, has access to every financial document since y'all went and did the, I think it was a class or something. I added y'all to it because I wanted you guys to know and have transparency. You guys have access to that. But then you come on here and you grandstand about what you don't got, what for you. You don't need none of that because guess what? All you got to do is log in and you see every account or everything y'all trying to find. Now, don't get me wrong. If you can't use it or don't understand how to navigate it, that's different. You should call Derek, set up an appointment with IT, and learn how to utilize the system that y'all have access to. So,
I'm gonna give y'all a break. I'm gonna share my notes with you real quick and give you a break from her bullshit. I mean, like literally, I'm gonna be really honest with you. I'm one of those kind of people who be like, just be quiet. You should stop talking now. You should. Like, I mean, sometimes that right hook is involuntary. You should just stop talking. Hey, I hope I'm not going to say your name wrong. Malkia, thank you for being here. Oh, the drainage is hitting. Oh, from the cocaine. Is that what's happening? Let me share my notes with you real quick. Trustees, why are you ignoring all those phone calls? The mayor is calling you to share information with you. Why are you ignoring her? Guess what? Why didn't she say, guess what, like Lacey? She said, what people don't fail to realize is, what you meant is what people fail to realize is you can't correct people and use the wrong word. Love you back. Thank you. You can't correct people and use the wrong words. She said, do you notice that she never gives a specific answer? It's always a hypothetical. I mean, how do you know that it wasn't somebody who came and started working weeks before and then we added them? How do you, I mean, maybe there was 303 hours because people had vacation pay. There's never any specifics. Hell yeah, her nose is wide open. That's why I gave y'all this little bitty shot instead of making y'all sit through some shit like this. See, if I didn't like you, I would do you like this. I would make you have to look at her like this. But instead, I'm going to try to balance out the energy a little bit. I'm taking it. I'm like Jesus. I'm taking it so you don't have to. And then, you notice the only thing she ever tells the truth about is her daughter's age. That's the only thing we can actually count on being true. It's her daughter's age. And then she said inauguration, just like the word argue. It's not argue. It's not arga. I wrote that down for you a little bit earlier, and I forgot to get to that for you. Yeah, arga. It's argue. Not inauguration. It's inauguration. You got to work on that strong U. That Y sound. Yeah, you gonna have to work on that because you sound real ignorant.
Stop telling people.
Oh shit, that's an ugly thing.
People hide things, nothing to hide when you got access to what everything the employees see here in the village of Dolton. So I want to just clear that up. Last but not least, the inauguration. Yes, we had inauguration and we spent funds. Yes, the board approved it. Again, when you guys approve it, then y'all get mad, then y'all want to talk about the approval, but you guys approved the expenditures. Y'all approved whatever that went out of here. So it's like, what is there to discuss when the board approves everything that's going on in the town? But yet y'all point the finger instead of seeing the three that's pointing back at you. I just need you guys to actually talk more and stop acting as though it's just me and y'all don't take no responsibility as nothing that's going on. It's just the mayor. And the last and final thing I will say before I get off my soapbox is that a recall is illegal. And the reason why I keep saying it's illegal, most people don't know my history. So in I keep missing the dates, so 15, 16, it was a recall done on myself, Trustee Brown, and Trustee Stan Brown, and also Robert Hunt. We went to court, we did the fighting, we did all of that. And that's why I referenced to y'all attorney that y'all have now. They was the one that did the recall with the previous mayor, Rogers. It got basically thrown out. They didn't win the recall. It couldn't happen. It is illegal to recall elected official. Because guess what? If it was so popular, everybody will recall everyone in the state of Illinois. Because everyone got a problem either with their board, their commissioners, their state reps, anybody. So I don't like the fact that just because you guys have a problem with me, you just want to recall me. I told y'all last meeting, put everybody up. And then let's see who survived at the end. Put everybody on the recall, including the trustees, including the clerk. And you guys should know better than anything. When the mayor
I brought the volume down. Let me know if that's better.
They did term limits on him. And what I mean by that is he got termed out. So it can't be just for one and not for all, is what I'm saying. You guys' opinion of a recall is not right because it's supposed to go to who? The people. People normally wait until an election. That's why everybody waits to an election. And then you call that a recall, and then you recall someone's seat by trying to remove them from office. You don't do it mid-live. I've been in office 6 months, 6 months. And this is how my board of trustees think. This is what's going on. I just don't think it's right. I don't. I think you guys should reconsider this. And I know that the hatred or the dislike for me is going to be stronger than anything. And y'all still going to vote and pass it. But I just wanted to like hint on some of the things. And they're telling me to wrap it up. I'm going to wrap it up. Hint on some of the things that were just spoken of and let you guys know the truth behind it from my side. So basically you guys say your side, I say my side. And now it goes to the public to decipher what's right, what's wrong. Just like before you go before a judge get both sides before they actually move forward. You guys didn't get my side. You guys just said whatever your opinion was, and then y'all made and created a law, and want to vote on it. You've never sat down with me before this. You never talked to me, asked me how I felt about it, or can anything be fixed before this? You guys just wanted to vote on it and put the 3 referendum questions up. So you have every right to do what you want as trustees, because at the end of the day, you guys do legislate. I do think it's disheartening to not put it before the body, which is the people, the residents, and went out and got signatures to actually truly see what the residents think of a recall. Because when we was out, people was telling me to recall trustees. I told them, I think when a person earns their seat, they should keep their seat. And then when it comes time to remove anybody from office, you have the right to do that when their term expires. Otherwise, I would have had your names on a recall. I did not do that because I believe in that, number one. And number two, it is solely illegal to do a recall on anyone, because you guys, number three, haven't done nothing wrong in my eyes as it relates to corruption or theft or anything like that. So I'm gonna leave it there and let you guys have your way with item B. So
Hey,
Mayor. Okay. Hold on. Before you two speak, because you two spoke first. Anybody else got a statement or a comment before I allow them to speak? Because once they're done, we're gonna call the roll and move forward.
May I just have one statement? This is Trustee Brown.
Go ahead, Trustee.
It's not about the going back and forth and all of that, and you let me know about the homicides. It's not about that. My concern is when we don't let the residents know what's going on. No, the residents don't know what's going on. If there's a homicide, if there's a shooting in my block or something takes place, you know how I find out? I find out through Facebook. Other people sending text messages. Those homicides that happened during the holiday weekend, my sister told me. So it's not about, you calling me and telling me, which you didn't call me and tell me. I found out through Facebook, and I in turn sent the email to the chief of police. So my concern is, we want to talk about residents knowing and residents doing. Let's make sure the residents are informed about everything. That's my concern. Thank you.
What Amanda needs to know is not the difference in the formulation or the ingestion, but how do you know whether she's on coke or crack? I'll tell you how I think I know. I've seen people who are high on cocaine, and it's usually you don't even really know they're high. They just talk a lot. They got a lot of energy. They just real busy. People who are high on crack, they be doing shit, twitching and shit. Like, crack is one step away from dirt. This meeting was December 2021, Hogleg. Dry lips. Yeah, and one crackhead told me that if he is on crack, he is not hungry. So the way that I needed to know, this was the guy I used to do ministry to. I used to minister to when I was in North Carolina. He said, if you come get me, or if you see me and I'm not hungry, I'm high. And you need to ask me to get out the car and go about my business. Okay. I like that. I can agree on that. But that, I think, Amanda, if I understand correctly, that's what you were asking, right?
Okay. And Trustee, just a comment to your statement, and then I'll leave it alone. If you answer your phone when I call, you and I would definitely have a better relationship, and we will have some kind of dialogue moving forward, so that now when these things happen, you guys will be aware of it. But if you're not aware of it, it can't be just because the mayor didn't call or mayor didn't say anything. You guys fail to call me back or answer anything that I'm sending out. And secondly, committee meetings. Committee meetings are strictly for this as well, as relates to letting the public know what's going on. You all are over everything. Fire, police, Melanie, y'all all got y'all units. So you guys have more committee meetings. People will know what's going on in the town as well. So it's other outlets to making sure the public knows what's going on.
But Mayor, I stated that in the committee meeting. I brought that up in the.
Just as a note of pattern. So Tiffany Henyard is going to change the definition of a recall. And now she's deemed that recalls are illegal, yet a recall is a legal instrument. And Prima Donna mentioned something really important, because this is how I got on this Dolton story. I didn't really know or really care a lot about Dolton until people started reporting the issues with the water. Because I'm from Michigan, and it sounded like Flint to me. And Flint went on for a long time. When did it ever stop? But Prima Donna said here they find out about stuff through Facebook because the mayor's not going to tell them. And there's never been a boil order. There should be boil orders in. I mean, listen, I ran out of bottled water a few days ago, or right before I went on vacation. I boiled my water before I used it. Probably because I lived in China for so long, it's something you just learn to do. But I think all water in America should be on a boil order. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think anything is as safe as we think it is. But these are situations when there's a water main break over and over again, that mayor should be telling people how to handle the treatment of their water a little bit differently, because who knows what's in that water.
Policing meeting to the chairperson and the police chief. How are we going to inform the residents? As of today's date, I still have no answer. So I did bring that question up to them at the committee meeting. And today, as of today, I still don't have an answer.
Okay, well, from my understanding, they are informing the residents. So I don't know anything about them not informing the residents. And I know trustee homes always have committee meetings and talk about crime, and y'all talk about the issues that's going on in town. So that's a false statement that you're making. Because I do know one thing about trustee homes is he go out and he gets the job done. And he educates the public on what's going on. He sent flyers out and he door knocks. I'm normally with them. So for you to make that statement, that's untrue. So I don't know where you're getting your signals at, getting mixed up somewhere. And
well, I'm going to stand on that statement. I have yet to hear from trustee Holmes as well. So I'm going to stand on that statement that I just made.
Okay, then I'm gonna clear something else up too. Collins, Chief Collins, he's been really good at door knocking. If he do foot patrol every week. So that's why I'm making my statement. If Trustee can make their statement, I'm making mine so I can clear it up for the department head. Trustee Holmes, he can speak to it that we always on the street. So that's not true. You guys might get a handful of people or people that might work or don't even care about what's going on in Dolton, might see you in passing or call you, but them untrue statements. Because one thing about my administration, they do their job and they always on the street and they are very visible. I will say that. Okay.
I would definitely email Chief Collins on the statement here today. Thank you.
Oh, no problem.
I would like to make a statement.
Yeah, go ahead, Trustee.
I'm making Trustee Henyard. Mayor Henyard. You do not call the trustees.
Because Mayor Henyard and Tiffany Henyard are well, I won't say completely different, but they're definitely different. This is a woman talking after having rough sex. This is not a drug thing because she does not pay attention to whoever is talking, but seems she is ready to exit the room. Interesting. Maybe she should have took a nap.
Come on, kind of stop with the misinformation. Next time you called me was 3
I'm gonna let you get it out. Go ahead.
Last time you called me was 3 weeks ago about a vote. You don't call Trustee Belcher, Trustee Brown. Can any trustee on here say the last time this mayor called anybody? Just stop with the misinformation. You do not reach out to us. You do not. That's just a false statement that you can be proven with phone records. You don't call us. You don't get our input on nothing. So that's just not true, period. So if you want to talk, call me today. Call me tomorrow. Call me anytime I pick up. So stop putting the misinformation. You don't call us. So you're saying all the trustees are lying, saying, so you're saying you did call us. We're all just lying. That's not true. We don't call. Any other trustee can attest to this. Does a mayor call anybody?
Okay. You finished, Trustee?
I'm finished.
Hold on 1 minute. You finished, Trustee Steve?
Yes, I'm finished.
Okay. You all people know better than that. Since tell that bald-faced lie. You and I have the same mutual friends. So your mutual friend and my mutual friends are lying about me reaching out to y'all, or them coming to you saying call mayor back, the mayor's trying to reach you, like stop that. Because if you want to call them, let's put them out here and then they'll tell the truth. Because that's a lie. I've called all of you guys. None of you pick up. Nobody pick up. Trustee Belcher, I already know you're gonna pick up for me, but.
Where are the records of the phone calls? She lies like they are stupid. I mean, I guess she thought they were stupid since they chose to continue to endorse her, learning and knowing everything they didn't know and learn about her. But no, these aren't stupid people. Not even in the least bit.
I call you too. So yes, and yes, I do my phone records. I don't have to lie about calling your phone. What am I lie about that for? And we send emails. So it's different types of communication. That's it with that. Okay, so we'll go to Norwood. What time is it? We'll go to Norwood, and then we'll go to Belcher, then we will conclude. Okay, go ahead.
Just real fast, Mayor. I mean, you stated that, just speaking of calling me, you don't call me. The last time you called me, you actually just brought up a meeting that you and I had. I was actually on my way to a showing, and when you asked, could you meet me? I still rearranged the showing, and I met with you. You said I ran. I said to you when I met with you, I said, hey, Mayor, let's talk about what you have to discuss, because I have to show and I already rearranged it for you so that we could meet. So I just think that it's funny that you sit here and act as if we didn't have a discussion when you brought up block by block to me at that moment. And I said to you then, Mayor, I'm not in agreement with block by block. I said, as a realtor, I feel as if we should not be in the real estate business in regards to for investors, giving them the properties for $1 and then waiting for them to rehab the property, and then we get a portion of it. I said to you then, I said, Mayor, as a realtor, I know all types of problems that can happen with that. I said, what if, and I asked you, I said, well, Mayor, what happens if they don't rehab the project? What if they don't complete it? You said that we'll get the property back. I said to you then, I said, well, even if we get the property back, we still have to correct the rehab. So we're still out, is what I was explaining to you. So I stated to you at that time that I was against the block, and I explained to you why. And that's the last time you called me. You called me, I met with you, and that was it. We discussed that, and we discussed the class 8. Mayor, hello? Are you listening to me?
Yeah, I'm here. Go
okay.
ahead.
Okay, never mind, Mayor. Your attention's going to be somewhere. So thank you.
See, don't play games with people like that. Pay her fucking attention. She don't want to
Yeah,
listen.
yeah. So just for the record, I didn't run. We finished our conversation. I did have to go to my showing, like I said to you in the beginning. I explained to you that I was against that block. I explained to you why, and that was the end. So thank you, Mayor. Again, you have not called me. I don't have a reason to not accept your calls. As I stated to you before, it's just the untrue statements that you make time and time again that causes the rift between us. It's compromise and honesty, Mayor. But thank you.
Okay, everything you said is not true. All right, we need a 5-minute break. So I need to break away for 5 minutes.
I mean, y'all took forensics in high school or college. That's not how you respond. Everything you say is not true. Black, no trade backs to infinity and beyond. To the 3rd generation. Like, what the fuck? She's so childish. Absolutely childish. And now she's about to take a 5-minute break. So we're going to jump forward for 5 minutes. And the finance guy is actually going to join the meeting now, which is really important. This is a guy I don't think we've seen a lot of together. So we're gonna skip through their 5-minute break and get to this part.
3 referendum questions to be voted by the residents of Dolton on June 28th, 2022. Do I need to read each referendum?
No, you have to read each question, but I guess I put it back out there to the Board of Trustees. Would you guys like to amend this to add the trustees and the clerk for recall? Or y'all just want it to solely be the mayor? Anybody want to amend it? Okay, got it. Go ahead, Clerk Key.
Trustee Steve?
Aye.
Trustee Norwood?
Aye.
Trustee Belcher?
Aye, 3 times.
Bitch.
Trustee Holmes?
No.
Trustee Brown?
Aye.
Trustee House? Trustee House, you're still muted. Is Trustee House on?
He should be, clerk. He had to get on using his cell phone. So he should be, Ontario said he allowed him back in. So he should be, but it's via his cell phone.
Oh, Jason, I think he actually let back in. I'm sorry. Did we let Jason back in?
Trustee House, are you there?
I mean, Trustee House.
She's
Trustee
so
House,
dry.
are you there? Okay, well, you can come back to him and get his.
Dry space.
Okay.
He wanted to ask the host to let him in, Mayor, if you can. Ask Ontario to let him in.
He's coming back in.
Okay.
Are you connected, Trustee House?
Yes, I am now.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Clerk Key.
I just need to get your vote to move forward with the referendum. Thank you.
Okay.
Motion passed, 5 ayes, 1 nay.
All right. Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is approval of Location Finders International Redevelopment Agreement Extension. Who put this on here? I don't know.
We're gonna, I want to remove that off the agenda. That's something that Attorney Vaselli is working on with the developer.
Okay.
Jimmy was just on a second ago.
Y'all know, I mean, I'm talking right now, looking at the sun outside my window. I purposely live in a place where the sun shines 24 hours a year. I purposely live in a sunny place because I refuse to live in a place where I look like that. And I do look like that in the wintertime already. I could only imagine what happened. Well, no, my skin is always juicy because I'm an Elements girl. Shout outs to the Elements girls. But I purposely live in a place where there's sun so I don't end up looking like that. Who wants to look like that? Wouldn't you rather have tan lines than frown lines?
Log in from his conference because I just sent them. There he is.
Hi, everyone. I am out of town. I apologize. I am at a real estate conference. I ran up because I heard that there were 2 items that may need my attention. I will run back down. I apologize. I'm in my hat right now, but I was at the conference. But I have been working with both the mayor and Trustee House on this issue. We will have feedback for a cow and then a regular board meeting in the short-term future. Thank you.
Okay, and then for the record, for that item, you guys should put it out for RFP to get someone else to bid on it as well. I see that you just got one developer there. Put it out for RFP. Okay, next on the agenda, you got ordinance 21, approving the application by 1401 Sibley for a Class 8. Attorney Shantae, is that you or is that Jimmy?
That was Jimmy as well, and he's going in and out, but he's back.
I'm sorry, everyone. Like I said, I am out of town. So it's my understanding that a Class 8 incentive was on a prior cow for Dolton Bull. Dolton Bull, as you all know, is a business that has been generally family friendly for the last 20 years in the village. I was told that they needed this incentive to stay in business. As you are aware, there was a prior incident there, and the thought would be that if they did have an incentive, they could modify their business model, shorten their hours, and allow for, again, a more family-friendly atmosphere on there. The Class 8, if you're not aware, is a county incentive that requires local recommendation before going forward. I mean, I guess that's it. Obviously, the resolution to a certain extent speaks for itself.
All right, is there a motion to approve Class 8 for Dolton Bull?
All motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and second. Any discussion?
Yeah, I got one quick question for Attorney Vaselli.
Sure, go ahead.
Is there, being that they've been in business for a long time, it's okay to give them Class 8? Is there going to be new development? From my understanding, you got a Class 8 with this new development or any type of improvements going on over there?
And we're going to follow up with them with regards to how they're going to recirculate their money. The one thing that I would like to remember, and Trustee, good question, is I'm
going to jump in here because I want to explain something. I thought this was the finance guy. This is actually Jim Vaselli, who was one of the attorneys who I believe they found out was operating in some very corrupt ways as it pertained to his advice to Tiffany Henyard. And I'm not quite sure. I know right now they're talking about a Class 8 for a company in Dolton. It doesn't really interest me. The most important part we already looked at. So what we've done today, we've taken a look at the Keith Freeman news stories. We've gotten caught up on the news pertaining to his indictment. We also took a deep dive into the indictment. We read it word for word. So you should have, you know, all the information you need on the indictment. Also, we just looked at this meeting from December 2021, where the trustees specifically explained to Tiffany dumbass, bullheaded, not needed Henyard why she was being recalled. So nobody can ever ask why. They've explained it. They've been very, very generous in the information. So for now, that's all I got.
Ain't got no. I'm gonna tell him something. I'm going to skating today. Going to skating. It's gonna be fun, and I can skate without the rings. I can skate without it now. I'm a big girl.
All right, y'all. Holla. Make it a beautiful, amazing, wonderful day. I know for most of y'all, the day is over. For those of y'all who are still on the West Coast, enjoy the rest of the sunshine. See you next time.
You know what that 3 means?